Brent Ritzno here. Today, I wanted to share with you the importance of focusing on yourself, uh, not on others that you cannot control, and uh, not only the focusing on something that you have not uh, control, like others, will simply, unfortunately, waste your time. No matter how you care about them or how much you want to handhold them to the right path, in the long run, it will be a waste. Uh, uh, it is just because that most of the struggle that the human being have to get through to become uh, full, like in a sense, like a complete uh, self-independent position, you really need to uh, go through their own struggle, and then if you keep pulling their hands a little too much, then you're disturbing their trials or to improve themselves or their journey that it requires them to grow. So in a way, you have to let them go somewhat in a significant way, and then your care should be more towards like you know sort of support, right, to make them independent. But the important really part is that while you're doing it, you really focus on your own issue, your own make life to be better, grow more. Can you do more? Can you grow yourself more? And if the answer is yes, and almost all of us will say yes, then that's what we need to focus on, because that's our path, and then everybody have their own path. So, but when I was a kid, like or younger, like I always thought that the criticizing or worry, like other things are kind of sort of the caring for some people, and maybe that might make their life better. In turn, they will do some sort of like good come out of it, or whatever. Like basically trying to feel something's wrong that I see the behavior or whatever of other people, like just criticize whatever. And then when time passes, like and then nothing really changes. And then whatever you said has a very little effect. I mean, like means it's like if you say 10 things, right? If something truth you say like 10 times, it doesn't make any difference. If you say once, they will remember, and then when time comes, if it's really true, then it might take a couple of years, or whatever. They say, okay, yeah, I think I got it now, but then that's their journey. Okay, but in the meantime, if you say 10, then those 9 times it's just wasted. So and yeah, so when you're focusing this type of like a criticism or like analysis on somebody else's behavior and things of nature, and especially trying to kind of advise, unless you're like a professional like psychiatrist or like a guidance counselor or whatever, then other than that, it's simply it is really the effort that doesn't reward itself. It's better that you spend all this time to improve yourself and to become more successful, so that you utilize that make the better world. That's a far better like usage of your time. And I noticed that, after a while, I was like, wow, I always focus on somebody else's problems, whatever. I'm responsible to myself, right? I mean, I'm neglecting myself. That's the most important, like a destiny, right? Taking care of your future, like your path is your responsibility solely on yourself, and I'm neglecting myself by focusing on other people. It's a problem. So that doesn't make any sense. It sounds like I'm trying to solve for them, right, and then create some kind of product so that I can get something back, and then make the skillful. That's not what I was doing. I was just complaining about it. It's like talking shit or whatever. Try not to do. Yeah, this kind of behavior is completely meaningless, and it's actually really, really bad for your what's it called, mentality. When you criticize other people, like it seems like kind of fun or feel cathartic in a sense, right? But then it actually soil your soul, so to speak. It's just that you become very negative, and the negativity just doesn't go hand in hand with the success. Just because to be successful, you really need to have this mindset of positivity. It means this criticizing means like almost like you're giving up things, like in an extreme sense. It's like I can't do much, so I'm gonna criticize, right? But then you can't have that type of mentality. Like you always have to think, oh, I can do it. There's more possibility. There's no impossibility. That type of attitude is necessary. If you think like this, then there's nothing to complain. They're just making a mistake right now, and then you can just imagine, okay, it's gonna get better, but I don't know. But some way you see things in a more positive manner. That's crucial, actually. So after a while, I stopped like letting go of kind of other people. I'm not trying to get involved too much. Like this is a very much like art, Like if you just neglect, that's not a good, right? That's your responsibility to yourself. So you got to say certain things or guide them whenever you can, but then you cannot push it too far to the point that you get emotionally too upset, or just because somebody's not doing much, or you're doing too helpful that they can't stand up for themselves. Okay, give them our time to figure things out themselves, like how to ask for help, how to stand up, how to do things. And then you just give them a guidance. Okay, this is how you do whatever, but then they got to practice themselves. So the confusion is like, okay, so I always said like, okay, so helping others is not a part of the passage to become successful. So what's wrong? Like trying to help or whatever. It's quite a different scenario, right? Like that helping people in my like success sense is to you give people an option, like it's a voluntarily things, like they wanted to do, like get yours product or services, right? But then when it comes to like help, means like you try to impose your will, like on somebody, like, oh, it's like you're not doing this right or whatever. That type of things is just not conductive. It's just wasting your time, and then we're wasting theirs as well. Important thing, I think what's to remember is like when somebody else cannot do it, it's just you might think it's easy, right, to do things, but then for somebody else it might take a while. It's just this type of gap, like understanding of people's. It's like if somebody can play piano so well, and then somebody comes out and try the same. For him, for that pianist, like your things is like really frustrating. but you're trying your best. But that's you can't do it. So there is always individual differences. So yeah, just back off once you do your best to help them. So what is the best way to actually help somebody? It's I think the most important thing is be tactful. Sometimes you got to be assertive or strict, um, but then a lot of times give people some options. That's very important. Like they have to have a choice that they made, and then there was a consequence. You can't just say, okay, this is the dictate, that type of thing. People don't learn if you do this type of help, or the help that it's like you teach people. I think there's a Chinese proverb, right? You teach people how to fish, then they can fish. They can live life for the rest of their lives. But then if you just give a fish, right, then they eat, and that's it. So the best help is to give them a wisdom, give them a skills, the opportunity to gain skills, and that type of things is the most helpful. But then sometimes like you gotta give a fish. I mean, like, if they're dying to eat, you gotta give some. I mean, that's very important. That's why it's tactful a little bit. So, and sometimes it's really hard to watch somebody just keep like you know that if the person going that direction, then he's gonna get burned or going to the disaster, and then you just cannot help intervene, right? That type of things, unless this is like a life-threatening situation, right? Then you might have to say it in a rational manner, but then if they want to keep going, just let them go. I mean, this is hard things to do, especially it's a family member or friends, like a good friends. But then humans really have to learn by themselves, unfortunately. But the conversation is important. But what I'm saying is like when somebody is that emotionally, in a sense, in an illusion or delusion, then your words not gonna help. Unfortunately, they have to realize it through their journey, and then that's gonna be part of their life, and that's a good thing. Nobody's life is perfect, anyways. How about you feel like a selfish, just focus on myself, like all the time, right? Yourself. No, it's not about the selfish. It's actually to do this. It requires actually more of empathy. It means it's like you care about somebody to pull back, and to care about yourself makes yourself more capable. That makes the world a better place because you're more capable to spread the good, right? So there is nothing really selfish about being selfish. Is like if you feel that responsibility, like just a little bit of nudge to let's say the kids or somebody weaker or like lower status, like you don't give any like a guidance, and then wish for the ill will. That type of thing is very selfish, right? I mean, most of people understand this type of differences. So it's not like focus on yourself. It's nothing selfish about. It's a very much gotta control your almost like innate desire to do like bothering somebody or trying to control other people's behavior. And you might feel like it's really hard to not to complain or blame or criticize somebody else. Okay. I mean, it's unfortunately like I think human nature has this tendency to the like have a gleeful state when somebody that you don't dislike or whatever are not doing well. It's just because like humans' status symbols are pretty relative. So if somebody goes down, you feel like you're going up, and then and the complaining or blaming is part of it, right? You give people like a kind of shitty stuff so that their status is going to go down, at least in your mind, and then you feel like you're going up. That type of BS. So, but this time with like the Bible is completely right? I mean, it's just like you really have to focus your own speck in your eyes than somebody else's eyes. Make sure that then when you complain that you have no issues, your life is perfect. If not, then don't do it. I mean, you're probably doing the same thing as the other person. I mean, if you really think about it, that's what it is. Just don't do. If you catch yourself complaining or blaming, whatever, just to say, hey, that's not me, and then don't even participate if that's the situation. So what if somebody starts saying like, okay, you kind of sounds like a little distance, you're not really trying to help people or whatever. If people start something like this, you gotta really reassess, right? Like if that they have a really merit, like you kind of go overboard, like just doing whatever you want all the time, and you're not really concerned about the little things. Like let's say if you have a family, you just keep working, and then doing really great, but then you're neglecting like a lot of things. Or sometimes like people just give you a hard time and drag you down. You gotta be able to watch which one's which. Just kind of adjust. Never restrict criticism. It means just like a criticism is so critical, whatever they are, to keep your sanity. Otherwise, like we tend to get like really delusional. It means just like we get into our own mind thinking our idea is great. That's very dangerous. So, I already kind of talk about this similar things, but what if I feel guilty? I'm not helping enough. Like, let's say, like a homeless person, just lying. The important thing is you really have to see beyond the surface, right? It's just like, let's say homeless people give money, would that enable their drug habit, or alcohol, or like the continuous behavior? Would that really help? You really have to see case by case, really, and then you gotta actually read the statistics, like what's the case, and then things of the nature. Yeah, I generally tends to especially in the U.S. it's a very welfare type of place, so most of the homeless people get some sort of like a subsidies, so it's more like a panhandling. I tends to lean towards more like probably they're gonna use it for not working or things not productive. So I don't do it. But sometimes when they're clearly like need help, like really cold weather and in the rain, and like outside is like almost freezing temperature, then and then they don't have a jacket or something, then I might give a blanket or two. But this type of things, like if you feel guilty, making sure that you're doing it right, means it's like you're not doing too much, not enabling and stuff like that. And then most of the time you can let people stand up for themselves. That's important. That's a great to me. This compassion is not like a shallow, really. So by focusing on yourself, at the end of the day, you can align yourself with the most important thing in your life, which is to forge your own destiny. And And then by doing that, at the same time, you are on the optimal path because you are focusing on yourself to the point that you are actually nurturing yourself, right? You means focusing on yourself means like you're doing best you can for yourself, like learning and networking, whatever, like doing interacting the best. So you're gonna be more valuable resources for others as you become more successful and more capable. And it also, it's not selfish, as I said. And then you can actually expand your karma. You can give a lot of people a lot more. So it's crucial. This focusing on yourself is crucial for your long-term success. Thank you for watching. Please share your ideas in the comment section below to help each other, and hit like and the subscribe buttons so you get notified of the next video. See you next time.